Maneuver the engine or engine transmission back into position under the front of the vehicle and reconnect the engine hoist and lifting tackle. With the help of an assistant, clearly raise the engine transmission assembly into position, making sure that the surrounding components in the engine compartment are not damaged. On 4-cylinder engines, if the engine is being refitted to the transmission, which is still in the vehicle, carry out the operations contained in paragraphs 41 and 42. Refit the through bolt or the 2 nuts each side securing the left-hand and right-hand engine transmission mountings to the body. Tighten the bolts, nuts to the specified torque. On early models, refit the 2 bolts securing the rear engine mounting to the subframe. On later models, refit the 2 through bolts securing the rear engine mounting link bracket to the subframe and transmission. Tighten the bolts to the specified torque. Disconnect and remove the hoist and lifting tackle from the engine. Refer to Chapter 8, Section 2 and refit the left-hand drive shaft. Reattach the right-hand drive shaft to the transmission differential output shaft. The remainder of the refitting sequence is the direct reverse of the removal procedure, noting the following points. Ensure that all sections of the wiring harness follow their original routing. Use new cable ties to secure the harness in position, keeping it away from sources of heat and abrasion. Where applicable, reconnect the accelerator cable and the cold start accelerator cable to the fuel injection pump as described in Chapter 4A, Section 3 and Chapter 4A, Section 4. On vehicles with manual transmission, reconnect the gear shift mechanism to the transmission as described in Chapter 7A, Section 3. On vehicles with automatic transmission, reconnect the selector cable to the transmission, then check, and if necessary adjust, the overall operation of the gear selection mechanism as described in Chapter 7B, Section 2. On vehicles with the 02G manual transmission, bleed the clutch hydraulic system as described in Chapter 6, Section 2. Ensure that all hoses are correctly routed and are secured to the correct hose clips where applicable. Refill the engine with appropriate grade and quantities of oil as described in Chapter 1, Section 3. Refill the cooling system as described in Chapter 1, Section 23. When the engine is started for the first time, check for air, coolant, lubricant and fuel leaks from manifolds, hoses, etc. If the engine has been overhauled, read the notes in Section 16 before attempting to start it.